Well, I've got this piece of locust that's 8 by 8. It's got a real nice shape going on around this edge. And one of my viewers, Thomas, he looked at the emerging goblet I did, and he thought that this wood would make a nice droop bowl. I've never made a droop bowl, so it's time I give it a try. I do know that this is the hardest wood I've ever turned, and this is going to be ungrained, so it may turn from a droop bowl to a droop footstool, but I'm going to give it a try. Well, get an idea what I've got here so far. It's come down quite a bit. I would say it's probably dropped about 2 inches. Maybe now that I can see where this is at, I think I'm going to flatten that a little bit more. Okay, for now I've settled with this. Can always do a little shaping after I turn it around. Alright, flipped around. It's in the jaws, in between center. I'm just going to round some of this up. Maybe halfway up. Alright, I need to flatten this bottom out. It's really on quite an angle. I want to get that taken care of now. Okay, let's get this bark out of the way here so I can figure out how big of a base I'm going to get. And then I'm going to have to start cutting this in. And I got to come back and sneak up underneath this. This might be asking quite a bit with all that big thick bark. So I'm trying to get underneath this some sort of a bowl shape. I think this is going to be way too much here. I don't know if I want to cut too much away on this side. Alright, I think what I need to do is start going in this direction. Far enough for when I flip it around and do the bowl section and out of the bark. So I'm going to start cutting back this way for a little while and see what develops. I sure like these jagged pieces of bark down here. Okay, well, I'm not sure I'm going to get a bowl. What I'm going to get. I'll cut away some of this. I'm going to go back to making this smaller here and still work on some sort of a bowl. I think that looks pretty nice. Okay, so I'm going to take and just kind of cut some of this down, blend it from here to this tip maybe. Alright, I need to get this much smaller here. It's way out of proportion. Well, I have a plan. I don't know how good of a plan it is, but I'm going to try it. Okay, that mark right there will be just about what I need for the jaws I'm using. I decided to go ahead and change the angle right here a little bit. I just want to get that a little bit more open. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sand this side up, get it ready to turn around. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. A lot of this I'll have to sand by hand. It's fairly fragile, and it's just this portion of the bark this thick is somewhat soft, but I'm going to try to do something to toughen that up. So I'm going to go ahead and sand this, and it's going to be a slow process, so I'll do this off camera. So I think it's time to see what we got going on. I tried every tool I could think of, but everything I put in there, that hard grain would just grab it and try to violently rip the turning right out of the chuck. Okay, people, I'm not giving up, but I'm going to go search out and get me another tool. Because I don't relish another 3 inches of doing this. So I need some form of a hollowing tool, and wanting to get one anyways. I want to look into them before I buy anything. This may sit, if I have to order one, this might sit for weeks or a month, but the good thing about it is I have 3 other turnings that are almost ready. been a couple days since I worked on this. I haven't given up, but I do have an idea, and I'm going to show you what I've come up with. So I talked about searching down a tool and purchasing one, but I remembered Phil at Madrone Woodworks using a hollowing tool that he has, and it really did wonders to what he was working on. And Phil has inspired me a lot. So I chased down and found that video and saw what it was, and I set out to buy one. And I don't know if you figured it out, but I'm kind of an old cheapskate, so if I can make something, I will. So I went ahead and made that same type of a hollowing tool. I used the same insert that comes on it. I went out and bought that. I had the piece of steel. I got a round turned on it here. It's just ½ inch square. I put the taper on there that I could see from a picture and looking at the one, and drilled and tapped it. And I'm going to try it out. And I'm going to put it on this handle that I made, I don't know, a year ago or so for some other tools that I made. And it just slips in, set screws, and away you go. So let's see how this tool works out. I've already gone through with this little tool and it still wants to jump off track. Find out if we can finish this or not. It's going to be very, very slow. I'm probably going to film some of it just so you see what it's like, but then it's going to take me a long time to get to the bottom, and I'm determined to do it. So this really cuts good, but it still has a nasty habit of catching. So I just realized when I picked this insert up, they are now selling negative rake inserts. So guess where I'm going? I'm going to head right out now to Rockler's and buy myself one. So I just made a quick run to my local store and I purchased another insert for this tool I made. This one is the same diameter, but it's a negative rake insert. They're now making negative rake. Pretty expensive, but the other one cuts really good, but it was catching a lot even. So I don't want to not be able to finish this. So I spent the money on it, and I'm going to find out how well it works. Okay, here we go. Turn it back on. Okay, that feels 10 times better. That's a relief. Let me work on getting a little bit deeper, and then we'll get in here and try to video some of this. Now from here I'm down 1.5 inches. Like I say, it's really slow. I'll go ahead and make a couple cuts. It's not gonna be able to show you much here. It's down inside, but I'm just making shaving, not even making sawdust. Well, I'm getting down there quite a ways. I'd like to go about another inch at least. I'm not ready to take this out, even though it is in my way. I might just taper it a little bit smaller down in here, just so I can get at it. I definitely want to sand this. Maybe I'll sand that before I take this loose. Although a lot of this is going to be hand sanded. So let me work on this some more and I'll come back and show you what we have. Like I say, if I did get in here and work, I'd be in your way. Just a little update here. I have removed the center holding this. It's clamped in these jaws very well, but still makes me nervous. This bark is not real strong, but I think we're fine. I'm going to get the tailstock out of my way, move some things, and go trim that bottom out. Alright, that's what's left in there. I'm going to see if I can work this down nice and flat. I ended up doing all the sanding off camera. Then I applied a coat of sanding sealer, sanded that out, and then I've applied a layer of lacquer. I need to apply multiple coats to the thick bark area, and then I plan on spraying the rest. Well, I finished spraying the lacquer on this over the course of a few days. I would put a couple layers on a day and wet and dry sand it in between. It looks pretty good the way it is, but I'm going to use this Triple E that I used on another project. And you can use it over lacquer, and it kind of acts like a French polish. So I'm going to get some on here. I'm going to get it coated, and then I'm going to buff it out with the same rag that has the material on the rag right now. After that's rubbed in, the grit that's in this is really fine, and it will help to level that finish out. And that's where you really start to get a nice finish when you do something like this. Okay, now we'll just go ahead and rub this in, let that abrasive do its job. As shiny as something looks, this will make it even shinier. It just levels it out, and sometimes almost to a mirror finish. I'm going to use the blue shop towel to get the remainder of the grit off of here, and then I'll go over it with the soft cloth. But that, I think that looks pretty nice. What do you think? Has interesting grain going on. Extremely hard wood. There was a moment there when I was doing the inside that I wasn't sure I even cared if I finished it or not, but I knew I would. Very difficult turning this end grain. Yeah, see, there's still a little bit of wax I can't reach. I'm not going to reach clear up in here and try to do that. I can get this off by hand after I get it off the lathe. I'll do the inside, get the tenon off, and then we're done. Okay, it's reversed on that little piece of wood that's cone shaped. Let's see how round it is. Pretty darn good. Well, here it is, all done. I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm really pleased that I was able to get this hollowed out. It was very, very difficult, but I got it done, and that's all that really matters. Special thanks to Thomas, who watched my merging goblet out of the locust wood, and he looked at the bark and he said, well, that'd make a really nice Droop Bowl. So I decided, well, I'll try one. I actually had to look up what it really was, and I don't know if you'd call this a Droop Bowl or a mushroom bowl. I like it whatever you want to call it. So you can see the dark areas in here. It's so tricky because the light Depends how you look at it. When I'm looking at it from the camera's view, it doesn't look the same. So the photos will show it a lot better. And that bottom's really, really interesting. You can see up under that bark there. I'll do another one of these. I don't think I'm going to do another one out of locust, but I want to do one that's a little easier to turn. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you'd click on that thumbs up button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. And for all you subscribers, I have to have a special thanks to all of you. I have hit over 1,300 subscribers now. Never in my dreams that when I started this that I would even have 100 subscribers. So I'm just very pleased that people are watching my videos. And I do truly appreciate that. So until the next time, we'll see you later. The bowl finished at 8.5 inches at the widest part on the bark, and it was 6 inches tall.